1-minute
I
warning.
just hit the record button, so anything you say from this point forward is a matter of public
Be held
record.
against you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, welcome candidates to the
One
first of
second,
three-
are we live to the crawler? We need to wait until we're live to the crawler, yes?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
Okay, Francine, it's your show.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and candidates. Welcome to the first of three candidates forum. My name is Francine Riva-Jones, and I am the election committee chairperson. Michelle Marbury, raise your hand, is the co-chair. The other committee members are Denise Gerald, raise your hand. John Gale, Sandy Krasnoff, you can't see her. Marita Taylor, you can't see her, and Joyce Wilson, and Jeffrey Buss, who is also our counsel. There was a robocall to the shareholders today, and I thank all of you who could be with us this evening. I will now read the election rules. Okay, there will be 3 virtual candidates forum for this year. The first is tonight, of course, and the second one will be on May 1st at 7:30 p.m. and the third will be on May 5th at 7:30 p.m. Pursuant to the election rules, Section E, Paragraph 1, all certified candidates are invited to participate in the virtual forum. Each forum will be conducted using Riverbay's WebEx platform and broadcast live over Riverbay's master antenna television system to all shareholders. Each forum will also be recorded and rebroadcast on the Riverbay MATV system at later dates throughout the remainder of the election period. The recorded forums will, to the extent possible, be made available for streaming over the internet. If a candidate cannot attend the forum and the candidate provides the election committee chairperson with the reason for non-attendance, the committee chairperson, with the permission of the candidate, may announce the reason for the attendance. To the audience. Okay. To allow maximum exposure for all candidates running for this year's election the election committee has established the following guidelines for the candidates forum. Number 1, candidates will be permitted up to 2 minutes for an opening statement and up to 1.5 minutes, which is 90 seconds, for a closing statement. It is the candidate's option to make shorter statements. Number 2, candidates are requested to refrain from personally attacking each other or from making defamatory statements which could expose Riverbay to liability. The committee reserves the right to mute candidates who, in the committee's opinion, are violating this rule and to delete defamatory statements and personal attacks from any rebroadcast of the forum. Candidates who are abusive, in the opinion of the committee chair, may be muted or excluded from participating in the balance of the forum. Number 3, no candidate will be included or allowed to participate in the forum who appears after the final candidate opening statement is made. Number 4, the candidates will be allowed 1 minute to respond to each question. Questions may be referred to individual candidates or to all candidates. Almost finished. Number 5, the committee will stop taking questions at approximately 9:30 p.m., at which time the candidates will commence their closing statement. Number 6, candidates who are not present for the forum may not have statements read in their absence. The election committee requests each candidate's cooperation in maintaining an atmosphere which allows each candidate equal time to present their views. If there are any questions regarding the above, please direct your comments in writing to myself as chairperson at Riverbay 2021 election at riverbaycourt.com. Okay, so now we will commence with opening statements by the order in which everyone was selected. So we will start with Ms. Monique Coleman.
Thank you so much, Francine. I'm really excited to be here. My name is Monique Coleman, and as you know, I'm running for the board. I've lived here for 3 decades. My children were born and raised here. I think my demographics match a large number of other cooperators here in Co-op City. I work full-time. I've worked for the same company for more than 20 years. I continue to work full-time, and you know, I'm always, chasing the hustle like a lot of my neighbors. But as a member of the board, I plan to pursue initiatives that maintain our overall affordability, our quality of life, and that improve our health. Initially, I want to address the cable contract. I want to look at that closely and look for a better service and lower cost options. I also strongly oppose the New York State Department of Transportation plan to build a northbound ramp into the Killer Perv in the Section 5 off the Hutchinson River Parkway. I support building a waterfront park because I think that will improve our quality of life. I'm part of Team Progress, and we're all unified in our mission to make Co-op City a better place and to keep Co-op City affordable and the best deal in town. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Next we have Sheila Richburg for her opening statement.
Jeff asked her to unmute herself, and then Sheila should be able to go.
Okay, let me get that control up here.
Where is she?
I don't know if I see her.
Don't see her.
Okay, I'm not seeing her either. Okay, so maybe
Well,
we
we'll
lost her
go on.
connection.
We'll
Okay,
come back to her. So next we have Mr. Alexin Ducrary.
Alexin Ducray.
Unmute yourself. We can't hear him.
Mr. Ducray, you have to actually.
Thank you very much.
There you
All right,
go.
good evening, everybody. All right, good evening, everybody. Good evening. Thank you to the members of the election committee, and thank you to my fellow candidates. What a privilege it is. It's a wonderful privilege, an opportunity for me as a Caribbean immigrant, a transplant into New York City, a member of this community for the last 15 years. What a privilege it is that I get the opportunity to offer myself to represent my fellow cooperators. And really, this I think is essentially the basis for the entire my entire statement, which will last for the next minute or so. So as I said, I'm a member of this community. My family is here, like all of us, and I'm really very typical. I know it's very special. I'm just like every other candidate that's running, and I'm privileged to be part of this really great group that's running. And I trust that all our cooperators throughout the 320 acres. You know, one of the fascinating things about Co-op City is that. If we were a country, many of you probably are aware of that. If we were a country, there would be only 41 other countries of the 209 listed by the United Nations that would have populations smaller than Co-op City. That's pretty amazing. We rank somewhere around 42, just a little more than the Faroe Islands that are part of the Kingdom of Denmark, and St. Martin in the Dutch Antilles. And we are somewhat a little higher than St. Kitts in the Eastern Caribbean. So I mean, as somebody with a background in political science, I've been a teacher, I've been a clergyman, I've organized churches for. Time is up?
Yes, time out.
Okay. So thank you again, and I look forward to continuing the dialogue.
Thank you. Thank you. Next up, we have Miss Leah Richardson. And Leah, before you start, just a reminder to all the candidates, when you see the 30 seconds, when you see the 10 seconds, time will, after that time runs out, you will be muted. So when you see the 10 seconds, make sure that you're ready to wrap up, okay? Thank you. And now, Leah Richardson, you have the podium.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Good evening, shareholders, candidates, and election committee. My name is Leah Richardson, and I am respectfully asking you for your vote for re-election to the Riverbay Board of Directors. I am proud to live in Co-op City. We, the largest affordable, diverse housing complex in the nation, serve as a beacon of success for all others. It has been my honor to have had the opportunity to serve this community in which I lived for 24 years. I served as an officer and director for several nonprofit community-based organizations, chaired several committees to help the quality of life of my community as well as outside my community. In deciding to seek another term as a Riverbay Board Director, I want to continue the work towards maintaining a strong, vibrant, and safe community while remaining to be an advocate for the needs of all shareholders. Co-op City must always strive to remain the most affordable community in the city of New York. Therefore, my goal is to keep Co-op City just that, affordable, safe, and attractive. After more than 50 years, it has always been items in need of replacement or repair. In general, cooperators are pleased with the way management is operating, but as we know, not everything is perfect. We all want a place to live where our families feel comfortable, where people feel like they're part of the community, and where they have a voice. I ask you, my neighbors, to support me on the continuing journey to improve our quality of life in a financially responsible manner. As we all know, it takes a village, for we are stronger together. We can do all things if we do it together. Please vote to re-elect Leah Richardson, Leslie Peterson, Anika Green-Watson, and Akeisha Neely. Stronger together.
Thank you so much, Leah. Okay, next we have Akeisha Neely.
Before that, Ms. Reva, just keeping with the order, Ms. Richburg has re-entered the room, and so maybe we could go with her so we stay in order.
Okay.
I just admitted her before. Sheila Richburg.
Yes, hello.
Okay, are you ready? We lost your connection, but we have you back now.
Yes, thank you. Hello, my fellow shareholders. I am Sheila Richburg, and I humbly ask for your vote for the Riverbay Board of Directors. I am a proud mother of 5. 3 have graduated from college and 2 are presently in college. I'm a registered nurse for over 25 years and a frontline worker. I am a member of the New York State Nurses Association Union, and I am a member of Alpha Sigma Theta. I have been a dedicated, involved, and active shareholder since 2012 when I relocated here to Co-op City with my family. I am very involved in this community. I am presently the president of the Co-op City section of the Council of Negro Women. I'm on the executive board of my building, and I'm on the Coalition to Save Affordable Housing. If I am elected to the board of directors, I vow to advocate for a higher quality of maintenance service in an efficient and cost-effective manner. Am I having problems with my audio?
Yes, you are.
Oh my goodness.
We
Okay,
can
just
hear
kind of,
pretty good though.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
that's
yes.
better. That's better.
It's better? Okay.
Yeah, center yourself.
Okay. If I'm elected to the board of directors, I vow to advocate for a higher quality of maintenance services in an efficient and cost-effective manner for us as shareholders. I'm committed to advocating for establishing an urgent care center in each of our sections to improve healthcare access in this North community, and also to attempt to decrease healthcare disparities. I vow to courageously fight for Co-op City and to advocate for us as shareholders. I would like to vote for and increase creating resolutions that are in the best interest of us as Co-op City residents. Please vote for Team Progress. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sheila Richburg. Now we'll move on to Akeisha Neely.
Good evening, my fellow shareholders, my fellow candidates in the election committee. My name is Akeisha Neely. I've been a resident of Co-op City for over 25 years and a city employee for 22. Many of you may not know my name, but you've seen me volunteering to distribute food, supporting our youth at an NCNW function, and raising my voice when the MTA wanted to cut bus service in our area. I've been a Girl Scout leader in this community for the last 6 years, and before the pandemic, we lost several rooms and had to make some tough programming decisions. We've been losing space for our youth to use while we've had an agreement with the city that we've yet to act on. Just like many of you, I have concerns with CCPD visibility and the aging infrastructure and maintenance repairs. I'm running for the board to help keep Co-op City safe, affordable, and accommodating to cooperatives of all ages. Remember to elect Akeisha Neely, Anika Green Watson, and re-elect Leslie Peterson and Leah Richardson, because together we are stronger together.
That's it, okay. Okay, thank you very much, Akeisha Neely. The next up is Isabel Fletcher.
Camera's on.
Isabel, are you ready?
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Okay.
My name is Isabel Fleck, and I'm for the Co-op City Board of Directors. My husband and I have been a proud cooperators for over 20 years. Raising my 4 kids in Co-op City, my team and I have pledged to continue on with the great advances in our community. And as you know, by staying on course with our promise to help as much as we can through this pandemic, it is important to get ahead, planning to reset our community that has been on pause for over a year now. This means focusing on keeping Co-op City affordable, bringing more advanced technology to our community, and of course, keeping our neighborhood family oriented. A vote for me is a vote for Team Progress. I would like to finish off right there and let you know that I'm for making changes for the better of our community. Thank you. Team
Okay,
Progress.
thank you, Isabel.
Welcome.
Next up is Regina Hamilton.
Good evening. My name is Regina Hamilton. Election time is an exciting event because it is the season where we choose residents from our community to represent us for the important matters facing Co-op City. With a budget of over $250 million, an infrastructure that needs maintaining, residents that may be struggling and isolated, now more than ever, we need someone that is willing to work hard to interpret our fiduciary responsibilities, have a working knowledge of contracts, phases of construction, encourage shareholder involvement, all while finding ways to maintain high quality living standards. In a development as large as Riverbay, the shareholders deserve to partake in this election cycle with vim and vigor. To my dismay, we have fallen very short. In my constant walks around engaging the residents, I have found that many don't know about the election or candidates, and worse yet, do not care. We have fallen into the abyss of complacency. We struggle to meet a quorum year after year due to lack of excitement about such an important matter. The decision to pick candidates to tackle what is to come and work in their best interest is an awesome task. So far, I have given 2 articles detailing my skill set. However, I really enjoy personal interaction and plan to continue that throughout my tenure as a board director. It is important to feel the heart of a person and the passion they have. In Co-op City, we must prepare for the future, and the decisions we make now will impact greatly. I am ready and willing to work on your behalf. So vote for Regina Hamilton. Thank you.
Thank you, Regina. Okay, next up is Kevin Lambright.
Before I start, do we have there are mics that are open, so we're getting feedback a little bit every so often. I'm not sure if anybody else is hearing it. Okay.
Everybody is muted. Everybody is muted except those who have to stay unmuted. Myself, Ms. Reva Jones, Council Bus, and our timekeeper.
It sounds better now. Thank you. All right. My name is Kevin Lambright. It's been quite a long road throughout the years. I've been here 25 years with my family, and when we came here, we saw Co-op City as like an oasis. It was incredible, and we were just so proud to move here. And when I happened to go to a building association meeting, I realized that there were some issues. And when you're new here coming, you don't really notice the issues right away. Well, depending on where you came from. But I'm the father of 4 dynamic children, and who are now adults. They don't like to be called children anymore, but they'll always be my children. And since I've been on the board, I finally did get on the board. I served 1 term on the board so far. And so I'm going to reintroduce. So much has happened. I'm currently a New York State Supreme Court appointed guardian and court evaluator. I'm also a cooperative economic fundraising consultant. Since I've been on the board, I have chaired and co-chaired the Security Committee, the Sales Committee, Appeals Committee, Parking and Leasing Committee as well. Prior to getting on the board, I served on other committees that would allow shareholders to come on, like, for example, the Youth Committee, which I really always enjoyed, because when I chaired it, I actually brought youth into the Youth Committee, which I always thought should happen. Youth should be on the Youth Committee and should be a part of the Youth Committee. So I want to let you know that this is a wonderful thing that we're doing here as far as voting for our board of directors. I am so glad to be a part of it, and I want you to look at Team Progress, because those are also dynamic women who are running along with me. So thank you, and let's get this thing going.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Next we have Daryl Johnson.
Somebody.
Okay, I'm on. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is There's a lot of background noise.
There's a feedback.
That's coming from him. Everybody else is muted.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Daryl Johnson. I'm so glad to be with you. As you know, I've been on the board and serving this community in a very good way. All right. My job is to always help this community because I care about this community. I write weekly articles that inform people of what's going on here. Okay? I want to help our fellow cooperators with the problems that we have over here. Cooperators know they can reach out to me whenever they do have problems. We have a lot of situations going over here now. Recently, my articles have focused on our finances, okay? Refinancing. All right, we took out a $621 million loan back in 2012. All right, fine. Now they want to refinance this loan. All right, that loan was supposed to cover capital projects and so forth. We're back to square one. Now they want to refinance and take out $100 million out of it. So you need to be informed, okay, what's going on here. You need board members that are on your side. You need board members that care about you. You need board members that are going to help this community to grow. All right, powerful board members that can talk really well and to help management and the rest of the board and the rest of the community see things from a financial standpoint. All right, so when you vote, please keep the directors in mind that really want to help you, really want to benefit this community, and really can bring a lot of goodness to this community. All right, so again, if you vote, please make sure you vote for Daryl Johnson. Thank you. That's it.
You unmute yourself, Ms. Reba.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh.
Thank you, Daryl. Next, we have Anika Green Watson.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anika Green Watson. And before I tell you a little bit about myself, I'd like to extend a huge thanks to the election committee for coordinating this event, to my fellow candidates for engaging in this forum, and to the Stronger Together team for the hard work. Last but not least, especially my family for the endless support, and to you, the shareholders out there, for attending this forum. So for 2 weeks now, soon to be 3, I've written articles in the Co-op City Times to reveal a piece of my story to help you all get to know me better. I've shared the story of a mom, a wife, a professional who employs strong ideals and believes in doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. I shared a personal quote: "If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together." And you've seen that ethos play out in my campaign and in my alignment to the Stronger Together team. You've heard our rally cry, all for one and one for all. In addition to all being an acronym, which represents the first initials of strong candidates I think this community would be lucky to have serve on the board, all represents the people, literally and figuratively. The promise of going together and living cooperatively is the promise that has always set this community apart. Through collective sacrifice, we can pursue our individual dreams, but still come together as one community to ensure that we leave something that the next generation can enjoy as well. As part of that promise, I'm dedicated to re-engaging community leaders to uphold our youth center agreement. Having lived in this community for 27 years, I've seen firsthand the need to have a dedicated space for our youth. In addition, I will advocate for unit upgrades and improving restoration services, expanding senior programs, reviewing the surcharge formula, and increasing CCPD visibility. We owe it to ourselves to view current opportunity with a fresh pair of eyes. I encourage you to vote to elect me, Anika Green Watson, and Akeisha Neely, and vote to re-elect Leah Richardson and Leslie Peterson. All for one and one for all. We are stronger together. Thank you.
Thank you, Anika Green Watson. Next, we have Amina Lucio. Oh, unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Great, 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 great. Good evening, neighbors, family, and friends, and good evening, fellow campaign runners. I'm honored to be working with you all to run for the Riverbay Board of Directors, and with your help, Team Progress, we can win. I am a daughter of Co-op City. I attended IS 180, I attended Truman High School, and then after college from Florida, I returned to my beloved Co-op City. I would not choose to live anywhere else in the 5 boroughs, and I proudly profess that I am a Co-op City Bronx Strong resident. My bio includes serving as a full-time education administrator. I started my work as a school psychologist with the New York City Department of Education. I also serve as a member of the Education Committee for Yonkers City Council President. I serve as an executive board member for the Council of Supervisors and Administrators, CSA Union, and I'm a member of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee for the New York City Department of Ed. I believe in education, empowerment, and advocacy. My motto is you can't expect what you don't inspect. We need folks on the board who are committed in serving the people. In addition to education and empowerment, which leads to strong advocacy, I believe that we need to digitize all Riverbay operations. I would love to see our customer service increase. It has gotten better from the days of when, but there's always room for improvement. And I believe that we can also benefit from transparency, broadcasting all board meetings, maintaining increasing our quality of life is at the forefront of our agenda. Please vote for Team Progress. Again, my name is Amina Lucio. Please vote for Kevin Lambright, Monique Coleman, Isabel Fletcher, and Sheila Richburg.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you.
Amina Lucio.
You're welcome.
Okay, lastly, we have Leslie Peterson.
Where is she?
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
hear you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I have been a very proud member of this community for 35 years. I am a former property manager of the largest housing development in the county of the Bronx. And it's been what seems like an endless year of isolation for most of us in Co-op City. But tough as it's been, the pandemic has inspired many of us to get creative and figure out smarter, better ways to conduct crucial business matters for the community. We have concentrated on improving the infrastructure of our aging complex. During the renegotiation of our loan, an assessment of our property revealed high priority items that needed to be addressed. Fortunately, we are nearing the completion of those tasks, and that's great. But at this time, my focus has also turned to the numerous complaints regarding the timeliness of repairs. Living in a home where your house is turned upside down while waiting for completion of repairs scheduled months later must be addressed. New cooperators ready to their unit but waiting months for the vacant unit to be completed results in money lost and carrying interest payments. Over the years, we have discussed the Center for Our Youth and have been offered opportunities to receive funding for this purpose. During that time, we were again offered the opportunity for a center after the attempt to secure city property on Bartow, where trailer parks were located. It was not approved. A new site was selected and an agreement with the city was reached. However, there has been no movement. We want the agreement to be upheld. One of the top 5 courts in this community is our fantastic unit. They are available 24/7, and we need to increase their visibility. We need community policing for additional safety. Vote all for one and one for all. Re-elect me, Leslie Peterson, and Leah Richardson, and elect Keisha Neely and Anika Green Watson. We are stronger together. Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie. Okay, now I'm going to turn this meeting over to my co-chair, Michelle Marbury, who has a few questions to ask for your responses, and Denise will be the timekeeper again. Okay, so it's yours, Michelle.
Thank you, Ms. Reva. Thank you, candidates, and thank you to all the shareholders who are viewing this broadcast. And we'll go ahead with the first question. Jeff will go me, you like that, okay?
Okay.
Here we go. First question, and this question is for all of the candidates. Can you hear me okay? Okay, I got your thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, here we go. It is well known that one of the biggest problems in Co-op City is that the convectors need to be renovated. In your opinion, what is the second biggest problem that needs to be addressed. We'll go in order of the candidates and their numbers. So candidate number one, Monique Coleman, you have the platform.
So I think that we need to look long and hard at our relationship with our cable TV provider. We currently have an arrangement with Optimum, which expires in 2024. I've been here a long time, and I remember when I paid $40 for cable TV and had every single channel with community home entertainment. Now my cable costs are comparable to making a car payment. I feel like we need to look at other alternatives, maybe explore new technology like 5G, absolutely seek lower cost alternatives, and let Optimum know that their days are numbered.
Thank you. Next up for that question, Sheila Richburg.
Yes, thank you. There has been continued concern regarding maintenance and the quality of the service we receive as shareholders. And some of these complaints I actually agree with. I think that there are some issues with maintenance service and response time, or even some no-shows. It is in my opinion that these current shortfalls can be improved. And as a board member, I would advocate for expanding the delivery of these services and the delivery using the Yardi system. I would advocate for access to maintenance by not only the telephone, but through automated digital services. I think cooperatives should be able to report our maintenance needs and track them in some type of digital service or digital portal where we can track the no-shows and we can track when we are supposed to have service. Spreadsheets can then be developed to analyze data and improve our service delivery. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila Richburg. And now candidate number three, Alexian Ducre.
Have to unmute yourself.
Okay, let me make sure that he can unmute.
Oh, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. I fully agree that the question of access to alternative alternative services for the provision of cable access, internet access, particularly in these times, Pop City is an aging community, but there's a significant youth presence, and I support, by the way, those who are calling for some youth center and more youth involvement. But I believe the question of democratizing access to cable and internet access is truly a priority, perhaps even more important than the question of convectors. Thank you very much. I yield my time.
Thank you. Okay, next, Leah Richardson.
Yes, hi. I also agree with the maintenance issue, but I also have another issue, and that is the improvement of restoration services. Management, they have to get it right. For us to continue to be financially secure, we need to get these apartments restored promptly. It is also important that our current shareholders are not subjected to the sloppy work that is done by unskilled workers when they call for services. The approved turnkey project will allow the restoration of available apartments to be done quickly with a turnaround of approximately 20 days. Also, there should be an inspection done right after the completion of their work. Turnkey will leave one group of workers to deal with just restoring their apartments while the other group focuses on vacate apartments. This will now account for accountability on the work that is being done. This will save the corporation money as well as build confidence for the shareholders. So I strongly agree that we need to focus, and I will advocate to improve the restoration services and maintenance. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, Akeisha Neely.
Hi, I believe that we have an issue with CCPD. I remember when I first moved to Co-op City, we would see people patrolling the grounds all the time. Now you rarely see them. So I would think that we need to build a better relationship with CCPD, and we need to start with the top down, because we need to ensure that their management is giving them the directives to actually patrol, because it's not on the patrolman's watch. It has to come from the top down. So I think that we need to hold CCPD accountable and make sure that they're walking around and actually have some type of visibility, because the cooperators do not. We have people in the staircases, we have people walking around the grounds. So we just really need to have a better communication with CCPD and hold them accountable for securing our grounds.
Thank you. And next up, Isabel Fletcher.
Hello, everyone. I feel, although I see a few cop cars around every once in a while, I feel I'm addressing the CCPD. I feel there is a need to be more visible, walking through the grounds, less sitting in their vehicles, and communicating, engaging with the cooperators, residents, our children. We can be near the storefronts, but we also need them on the ground, because a lot of us roller skate, a lot of us can get hurt. We walk. There's elderly getting, some fresh air during these pandemic days. Everyone's in, but you never know. We need them on the ground. We need to see more visual for safety. And if it's something that is, someone gets hurt, we can't reach those boxes. If there's only one on each ground, maybe we can address and have more of those boxes for emergency on the grounds. And as I said, walking through everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Regina Hamilton. Same question.
Yes, thank you. That's a great question, because I actually went out on the Greenway for 3 days and spoke to the residents and asked them what was important to them. And they, a lot of the information that I got for them was quality of life issues, mainly dog waste was a big issue for people, and also engagement, as far as not knowing what was going on. They saw a lot of fencing in the neighborhood, but they didn't really know exactly why. I did explain to them that a lot of the information was in the Quad City Times, but a lot of people are not even engaged by that. So my idea would be to build up the building associations and possibly make some forecasting, so that people can feel a little more engaged while they're in Co-op City, because it's a beautiful place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Kevin Lambright. Did we lose Kevin Lambright?
I'm sorry, no. Can you hear me?
Yes. I hear you now.
Okay, great. I'll say that, well, restoration, we're already moving on that. The board has already, passed resolution. So we're moving on that, fixing that restoration. Security is not the best. We know that, but we are the lowest crime rate in the city. So, and then the other thing is, one of the things that I would take care of that I'm working on, and I've been really adamant about, is our call center. When people call up, we pay maintenance. What does that mean? That means that we should be able to make a phone call when we have a problem and get someone there who will show up. That works when you put systems in place. Everything works well with a system. No matter who you have in that position, if you have effective systems, then it will work no matter who's there. So the next thing I would like to work on is putting proper systems in place so that we can have a better quality of life in everything that we do here in Co-op City, because we pay for it.
Thank you. Thank you, Kevin. Next up, Daryl Johnson.
Okay. The next biggest problem that we have over here, one of the biggest problems that we have over here involves our finances. Okay. We spend a lot of money on capital projects, on our apartments. On average, it was said that we spend about $20,000 just to restore an apartment. How is this possible? All right. So if you have, say, a 3-room apartment, 4 or 5-room apartment, you actually think that it costs $20,000 to restore that apartment? Especially if the former cooperators are paying for the damages that occurred in that apartment? No, it doesn't. We have employees and contractors working on those apartments. Okay. So we're spending a lot of money just to fix up this place here. And also we're going into debt again just to pay for capital project, $100 million. So you need board directors, good board directors, that's going to guide this community to do the right things with our finances. Thank you.
Thank you. And okay, next up, Anika Green Watson.
Yes, I think the second biggest concern falls under the umbrella of what I will call service issues. And I know that's a broad category, but it covers both maintenance, which includes the call center, and restoration services. This is not a secret, right? We live in a 50-year-old community. The infrastructure has felt the strain from continued use. We've attempted to remedy this in the past, but we've got to take it a step further, I think, and have real solutions to have quality work performed on our infrastructure so that we aren't patching things year after year, similar to the example that was given earlier with the convectors. There's no shortage of residents who have laundry lists of service issues. I too have been on the Greenway and around the area just talking to people, and 5 times out of 10, you're going to get someone talking about a service issue. I think the time is now for solutions to address that need in a thoughtful and a sustainable way. Thank you.
Thank you. And next up, I'm sorry, Amina Lucio.
Yes. So I too agree that there is an issue with maintenance. I've been on the receiving end where I've been home waiting for maintenance to show up to repair damaged floors from a leaking convector, and there's no show. But if without having to reiterate everything that everyone else stated about maintenance, I think taking a look at our power grid, I was out of power along with a number of residents here in Co-op City for almost 12 hours. And then the following day, we lost power again. So I would like to take a look at the power grid. Again, it is a 50-year-old plus community. Our president is looking at infrastructure. We need to look at infrastructure. We need to build Co-op City so that we can sustain a quality of life. So I think my after convectors, definitely maintenance and the power grid.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Leslie Peterson.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay. My gosh, I've been listening to everybody, and there are so many different things that. Wait a minute. There's so many different that that I could agree with, but I'm going to go with one of the things that I constantly get calls about, and that is restoration and maintenance issues. And my firm belief is that you teach people how to treat. And I think you teach people what kind of service you want. And one of the issues that I see, because people come back and they say they came to my house, this wasn't done, that wasn't done correctly. I think the inspectors that we have need to be trained better. I think many of our staff need to be trained better so that there is not a repeat service. And right now, the way the call center is, I have inquired, and they should be able to monitor what repeat requests they have for work that was always already supposed to be addressed. So yes, I'm going to say the restoration department, and I think that the restoration department should concentrate on occupied apartments, and let the turnkeys do the vacant apartments. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next question. Jeff, would you like to take the next question, please?
Okay, fine. Good evening, everyone. This is a question from Ms. Hattie Overman, one of your shareholders, and it relates to budget priorities. And as you know, one of your key responsibilities as a director is to recommend an operating budget and a capital budget to New York State every 2 years. do you believe that Riverbay's capital budget should include money for a waterfront park? And we'll start in the same order. The first question goes to you, Ms. Coleman, Monique Coleman.
So I do believe that our budget should include monies for a waterfront park. Co-op City is situated on 320 acres, most of which is undeveloped. I think that we learned during the pandemic how difficult it is to be shut into your apartment all day long. We need safe outdoor spaces that promote health and the beautification of our community. We are located on the waterfront and have no access to the water. You know, we can see it from, our windows, but we can't walk near it. So I absolutely support this addition to our community.
Okay, thank you very much. Next, Ms. Richburg, do you believe we should fund a waterfront access?
I also believe that we should fund a waterfront access. I believe that this community had a survey and other shareholders responded, and they also believe in a riverfront park access. Having this would be beneficial, especially to those of us who do not have the view of the Hudson River from our units. It offers a quiet, serene outdoor space where we can enjoy the river view. It is also very relaxing. We are still in a pandemic, and we all know that the CDC recommends that we go outdoors, we stay 6 feet apart, and we breathe in fresh air. We can enjoy living on the outskirts of the Hutchinson River. This space will afford us health benefits for those who have stress and anxiety. The final park decision is ultimately up to the shareholders, and I just encourage everyone to respond to surveys when they come out. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Richburg. And next, Mr. Alexin Ducre.
No, I do not support. Yes, I do not support an investment from capital funds in a waterfront project. Not because, of course, I'm averse to some of the great ideas that have been put forward, but I believe that primarily the focus as long as we still have problem with repairs and maintaining the buildings themselves. Co-op City, 80% of Co-op City is undeveloped, and most of that is green space in any case. We are much better than other communities throughout New York City. I think our priorities are better spent, our money is better spent elsewhere on capital projects and maintaining our buildings themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ducre. Leah Richardson.
Yes, hi, good evening once again. No, I do not agree. I do agree with having a waterfront park, but however, not at this time. It is understood that to keep any housing development fiscally sound at these times, there must be carrying charge increases. I understand that. However, we are ending our first full year of a 100-year pandemic. Being one of the largest NARC communities in New York City, many live on fixed incomes and may not be enrolled in any carrying charge subsidy program like STREET. Pensions necessarily may not get increased because they are generally fixed. Social Security benefits increases are very minimal, around 1%. Do I believe that we need carrying charge increase? No. I say no because our families here do not need an increase at this time. Many cooperatives have lost their jobs, been furloughed, or received shortened work hours. Many are trying to take care of less fortunate family members by assisting them with the purchase of food, helping with payment bills, and in some cases known to me, contributing to payments of shareholders carrying charge. There are families with single parent heads of households who are struggling right now, and an increase of any percentage at this time would be detrimental to their quality of life. I would like to submit a resolution to delay non-essential capital constructions until we are refinanced. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Richardson. And next, Ms. Keisha Neely, do you believe Riverbay's capital budget should include money for waterfront access?
I do like the idea of having a waterfront access. It is, we do need access to the water, but I don't want it to be at the cost of the shareholder. If it's going to incur additional cost that's going to make us have an increase, then I don't think that's what we should do right now. As Leah stated, we are coming out of a pandemic, and some people are just not financially stable enough to sustain an increase right now, especially for a waterfront park. If we want to revisit the idea when people are more stable, then it would be suggested then. But for right now, at this moment, I do not support it, but I do support it at a later time.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Neely. Ms. Fletcher, Isabel Fletcher.
Hi, everyone. I do support the waterfront. One reason why is we have many families who travel through many other boroughs and they go to visit other people's waterfront. And I think that that'll be a great thing for stress, for parents to get out of their home, to take their kids skating. If we can implement a skateboarding area or benches, the Serenity is beautiful for someone to be able to get out. And as I said, many families like I go to different places to find that peace of mind, to go enjoy someone else's waterfront. So I do agree on getting the waterfront project being towards that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Regina Hamilton. Good evening, Ms. Hamilton.
Yes, I'm sorry, I had to unmute. Yes,
That's okay.
although I think that the waterfront is a beautiful idea, I think it would have to require a little more investigation because we would have to find out if it's going to be primarily for Co-op City residents or for public use. Then you have to think about who is going to provide the safety measures of it. Is it going to be the NYPD or is it going to be CCPD? So I'm not necessarily for using Co-op City funds to their capital funds to keep something like that going without knowing who it's actually going to be purposed for.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Kevin Lambert.
Yes, thank you. When it comes to the water park, I was kind of torn a little bit because I was more concerned about what the cost would be and how it would affect us. Although the thought of a water park it sounds really exciting, especially when I go into Manhattan and I saw that because it had been years since I had seen that along the water, and they really developed it. And I said, man, that would look really great in Co-op City. And then we did a survey in the community. 75% of the community said they wanted the water park, but they didn't want to give up the land. So what ended up happening with me was I said, okay, so we were water park, what is the cost going to be? And from the numbers that we've seen with the capital projects, it's not going to really affect our carrying charge. And they have actually lowered the amount that it would cost. I still think it's a little bit too high because I'm not a landscaper, but we're talking about grass and we're talking about a couple of trees and some benches.
Time out.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lambright. Next up is Mr. Darrell Johnson.
Okay, good evening, everyone. How can we talk about putting up a waterfront park when we're getting annual increases? Plus, they're going to refinance our current mortgage, which we receive a 35-year mortgage at 2.4% interest. They're going to refinance that and pull out $100 million. So we're going to be $100 million in debt more. Okay, how is this possible? That waterfront park, let's talk about that for a second. That waterfront park is going to cost $10 million, at least. On top of that, that entire area is protected. So it's not like you can just build something, a waterfront park over. It's not going to work like that, okay? You have to get a ton of permits just to rebuild, to put something over there. On top of that, they're going to, the agencies that want these, that will be sponsoring these permits, you have to get upgrades. They're going to demand upgrades. So you're talking about a lot of money, okay, that we cannot afford. So you don't put up a waterfront park if you cannot afford it right now, okay? You remember, you're getting annual increase.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Next is Anika Green Watson.
So my answer in short is not right now. According to Forbes and Street Easy, which is a feeder for Ford, rents in New York City have dropped by the largest year-on-year pace on record, and this was Q1 of 2021. For that survey, 4,339 shareholders voted, 3,739 gave interest in the park, 600 voted no. So in a survey where 28.9% of the residents voted, which would not be a sufficient vote for this election to move forward, by the way. And of that 28.9%, 86% expressed some interest or various ideas. We call that a compelling reason with clear community interest? I don't think so. During the pandemic, the number of units which did not make their carrying charges on a monthly basis increased 267%. When I think of the board's fiduciary duties to its shareholders, so you and me, nothing in my training suggests that taking on a project of that scope in a pandemic year is a good idea.
Thank you, Ms. Green Watson. Next, Amina Lucio. Ms. Lucio.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi. So the waterfront park would be a beautiful addition to the community. However, we need to represent what the we need to represent what is doable. What does the community want? So there was a survey that was issued. 86%, 85, 90% of the respondents were for a waterfront park. I support a waterfront park as long as it's doable and as long as it is what the community wants. As long as we have a balanced approach to maintaining maintaining the property, we must fix, of course, brick and mortar and quality of living issues. But yes, it's based on what the community wants and whether or not it's financially doable.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Lucio. And Ms. Leslie Peterson.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
I just have to keep checking because my battery's going low on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing about it is that you keep saying 86 and 75%. I don't think 4,000 out of 15,000 units here in Co-op City constitute 75 or 86% of the people. The other thing is that we had a town hall several years ago when our property was almost given away. And one of the things that the president said was that Co-op City has 17 parks and playgrounds. If we need another one, we can do the landscape work ourselves. If you want to come down and get a little waterfront view, you are all welcome to come down to what I had co-founded, which is Rivers Run Community Garden. You're all welcome to come and view the water, okay, and sit in the gazebo until the time comes that we do have the funds to do a waterfront. A survey to me is, do you want this or that? I would have preferred the survey to say, do you want a waterfront park or a youth center? Okay, but it didn't. Do you want a park? Some people said yes. Not even basically a quarter of the people said yes.
Out.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to attempt to turn this back over to Michelle Marbury. Michelle, are you there? I see a little warning sign on your picture.
I am. Can you hear me?
Hear you fine.
Okay, great. All right, the next question is for the incumbents on the panel. Okay, and that question is what board committees do you currently chair? Again, what board committees do you currently chair? All right. And the first incumbent on the list is Leah Richardson.
Okay, I do not, I am not chairing any committees. I will not get into that right now because I'm going to keep it civil. However, I have chaired committees, and the committees that I have chaired was the election committee, was the IT committee, was the parking and leasing committee, and I was co-chair on the audit committee. So I have served committees while I was on the board. And I'm also affiliated with a number of community organizations as well. Currently, I am a board director here at Co-op City. I'm a former president of Building 9 Association. I'm the officer of the Co-op City Democratic Club. I chair the Education Committee for NAACP. I chair the Economic Empowerment and Professional Development Committee for NCNW Co-op City Section. And I'm also on the Co-op City Legislative Committee member. So that is my my duties that I served on the board. And if I'm reelected, I will serve on board committees. Thank you.
know.
Thank you. And next up, same question for the incumbents is Kevin Lambright.
Well, being that the committees is where really everything really happens and the ideas are developed, from the very start, when I first came on, I started chairing committees. I currently am Security Committee chair, co-chair of the Sales Committee, co-chair of the Appeals Committee, and co-chair of Parking and Leasing Committees. I have served on the Youth Committee. I have also chaired the Youth Committee in the past. I won't get into all the organizations that I've supported way before the board. I got on the board and the Building Association presidency. That's just something that I do normally, whether I'm on the board or not. But I've always been a part of committees even before I got on the board, because they allow some of us shareholders to come on committees. So it's those 5 committees that I currently chair and co-chair.
Okay. Thank you. And next, incumbent Daryl Johnson.
Okay, everyone, listen. There's a reason why I run alone. Okay, it's not that I dislike people; it's that I'm very independent. But I like to make things work. I can work with people, but let me tell you something. I will not, under any circumstances, have anyone say to me, "Oh yeah, Daryl, you're on a committee. You're chairing a committee." However, if we don't like what you say or if we don't like what you do, we can remove you from the committee. We can take your, we can take you away from that committee. It's not going to happen with me. Why would I want to join a committee when something like this is possible? It doesn't make any sense. My goal as a board member is to serve you and to keep this community affordable and to keep this community running in the right way. That's why I run, and I run alone. I'm not a part of any group, and I'm very proud to say that. All right, so I want you to vote for directors that care about you and show you, hey, we mean business. We're not here for any games. Nobody's going to tell me, oh yeah, Daryl, we're going to remove you from a committee because you don't do what we say.
Thank you. And next up is Leslie Peterson.
Yes, similar to what Daryl said, I'm going to be very honest and I'm going to be very transparent because there are a lot of people out there that are listening. I have no problem serving on any. However, not being in power, basically you will find that those who chaired most of the committee were the people that were in a particular group. That's what I will say. And the fact of the matter is, previously, prior to that, I have been a co-chair on the audit committee. I have chaired the sales committee. I have been a co-chair of the cooperative appeals committee. And I too am a member of many organizations. And not being the chair of a committee has never stopped me from being there. So many people that are on committees, you know that you have seen me there, whether I'm a chair or not, because it's important for me to know what's going on, not only in the committee, but what interests the shareholders that are on there and what they have to say. I've always been on just about every committee seated, even though I wasn't the chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jeff.
Okay, thank you.
To you for the next question.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. The next question is for all candidates, and it is from Mr. Spencer, one of our shareholders. Do you believe that Riverbay should be more proactive in enforcing its rules? And if so, which ones? And we'll start with Monique Coleman.
Certainly. I mean, I feel like in order for us to live cooperatively and have a positive experience, we all have to follow the rules that we've all agreed to in our operating, agreement. So, yes, I do think that we should, be proactive about it. How to do that is up to the daily management of the company, of the corporation, and our management. So, I mean, we make the overarching policies, and we have a management company that carries out our decisions. So, of course, I think everyone should abide by our agreements.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Coleman. And next, Ms. Sheila Richburg.
Yes, hello, thank you so much. Yes, I also believe that cooperatives should follow the rules of Co-op City. One issue that is concerning for me is cooperatives that have dogs in Co-op City. Even though we know that HUD and the ADA, allows cooperators to have dogs, I think that the rules should be followed regarding cleaning up after your dogs. I believe that dogs should be kept on leash when they're in the elevator and in public spaces for the safety of other residents. I believe that as shareholders, we have to also address these concerns and maybe take pictures or call CCPD so that the rules regarding our quality of life and people having dogs can be followed. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Mr. Alexin Ducre. You
Thank you.
unmute.
Thank you very much for the question. I believe rules are important, especially when rules emanate from the community and from the will, from the collective will of the people. Still, I believe that rules need to be enforced very carefully and with an eye to improving the community rather than simply insisting on rules. So, yes, enforce the rules, but with a light hand.
Okay, thank you. Next, Ms. Leah Richardson. Do you believe Riverbay should be more proactive in enforcing rules? And if so, which ones?
Yes, I do also believe that that Riverbay should be more proactive, but I also believe that Riverbay should maybe instill some sort of a orientation to the shareholders, because I mean, like if a person was here for 30 years, they may have forgotten all of the rules. So maybe they should implement some sort of a reorientation to the shareholders so that they can be up to speed on these rules. Just as though as the board does, the board directors, we have yearly meetings, well, yearly orientation, not orientation, but they call them board training. So we have yearly board training. So maybe we should try to implement something like a cooperative shareholders training, just to keep them up to speed on the policy, because if you're here for X amount of years, you're going to probably obviously forget all of the rules. So yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Next, Ms. Akeisha Neely.
I believe that it's very important that we uphold the rules. One rule that I think is really important is a quality of life issue, which is loitering. We've had an increase of people being on staircases and in the lobbies, charging their phones, and that becomes a quality of life issue, because these people sometimes, most of the time, don't live in a building, or they are friends of someone that lives in the building. So I think that if people are aware of the rules and regulations, especially in regards to loitering and anything that causes a quality of life issue, I think we should really focus on those.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Neely. Next, Ms. Isabel Fletcher.
Hi, how are you? I also think dogs should be always on their leash, even on the greenway where people are walking, jogging, biking, riding as well. Curbing the dogs at the curb. I come out of my building sometimes in the past, and in the future, I've seen dogs in the back of the thing or extra urine, and it's not human. We were worried about the geese. They were crapping everywhere. Sorry to say that, but now we have where we have all their feces all over the place, and We have to put up signage. It should be signage being put up for the corporators so that we can give them the information so that they can understand the rules and the regulations. We have these boards downstairs where we can put information. I always see information from out of our community here sometimes too. It's okay, but we should be given the rules and giving some kind of
Time out.
our corporators to add on.
Thank you, Ms. Fletcher. Thank you.
Sorry.
So,
Thank
no problem. Let's see who's next after that. It is Regina Hamilton, please.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I believe that Riverbay could be more proactive, possibly enforcing the rules, but because it is a community, I think, as I stated earlier, we need to do more engagement with the residents here and the families. So this way they can feel a part of bringing the community up to a certain level. If Riverbay can do whatever they've done, you can say more police, you can say more people watching over us, talking to the neighbors or whatever, but we need to actually have the residents feel more a part of the solution and not just have like some big brother watching over us. We can do it as long as we engage. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Kevin Lambright, please.
Yes, rules are very important because if you don't have rules, it's like not having a traffic light in a city. Not one traffic light, it would be total chaos. But one of the main things that we need to also concentrate on is reminding people of what the rules are. Like another candidate mentioned, that yes, there are people who've been here for 20, 30, 50 years, and they don't even remember what it is. So that's why, my sales committee has been working on definitely creating a situation, production that will allow every shareholder to revisit that. We'll be showing it on the crawl of the rules and regulations, but in a dynamic way, an incredible way, unlike you saw in your regular orientation. It's going to be great, but it may not be ready till like June. So look forward to that, because I do. So again, the orientation that the new people will be getting, so will our current residents be getting that as well.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Lambright. Next, Darrell Johnson, please.
Sure. One big complaint that we have with the shareholders is there's a lot of noise complaints. All right. Public safety, they get about 300 to 400 complaints about noise every single month. All those complaints bogus? No. We have a few that people are fighting with one another. Okay, fine, but the majority, in my opinion, they're not bogus. All right. So what we have to do is get our cooperators together. When you have noise complaints, let's get these cooperators together. Let's see if we can find a way whereby there's not so much. We can work together. Cooperators can work together. So people are not stomping on the floor, running throughout their apartments, and going crazy in their apartments. Okay, this is a major problem in this community here. Also, cooperators need to report violent dogs. Okay. We have some dogs. The law does not provide for violent dogs. All right, that's wrong. Okay, so when you see a violent dog, you have to report it to public safety. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next, Anika Green Watson.
So I think the rules are what keeps the community running effectively, and I'm always in favor of proactive enforcement, in particular with respect to what I call quality of life rules or sharing common spaces. So, this will incorporate a number of things we've already heard on the call, pets, noise, and upkeep of the common areas. I've had occasion to go on the stairwells, and there are certain hot spots that always seem to have tobacco product, residue, even bodily fluids. And I know from our buildings and grounds meetings that our maintenance department has purchased special cleaning fluids to accommodate or facilitate the breakdown of these fluids, right? So obviously there's an existing issue there. But to no avail. So we've got to make it prohibitive for shareholders or their guests, right, to engage in this type of behavior. And I think we do that through rules and, fines. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next is Mina Lucio.
Yes. So I absolutely, undoubtedly agree that rules should be enforced as per our occupancy agreement. Um, and we need to encourage and empower one another. If we see something, we need to say something. There should be more of like a neighborhood watch. I know for one, the other day, I saw someone moving a huge elevator into the building. I didn't see any permits up. The elevators were not covered. And these are new elevators that were just done within the last few years. So reinforcing that type of rule, calling it in, if you see someone moving in that does not have a permit, if you know that someone is subletting, absolutely report it. Take pictures, email it to the directors of different departments, and be more involved.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Lucio. And
You're welcome.
next, Ms. Leslie Peterson.
I am struggling over here. So the thing about it is that, like many people said, yes, the rules, whatnot, about the common areas and about the stairwells, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what one of our things is of this offices. I find that many of my neighbors, when they call about certain complaints, because CCPD, is not around to address them quickly, by the time CCP gets there, maybe the noise may stop, maybe the dog stops barking. And so consequently, the person doesn't get a community complaint. And what happens, it becomes a vicious cycle to the point where some of the shareholders have stopped calling because it gets to be, okay, how many times am I going to call? How many times am I going to reach out to them and nothing's being done? So I think we need to follow up a little bit more with many of the complaints that we get from shareholders. And again, I think the visibility of our CCTV would help that situation greatly. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Peterson. Michelle, get back to you for the next question.
Yes, and I'm going to say I'm looking at the time, and to give us time for our closing statements. I think this will be the last question of the evening. This question is for everyone, for all of the candidates, and it comes from Lewis and Barbara Hill of Building 8. And it states, we understand that the door attendants, that I think they mean the lobby attendants, for our buildings will not be returning. If this is true, what are your thoughts about this decision and the rationale behind it?
Well, I miss our lobby attendant. We had a great relationship. He knew everybody in our building. It made me feel safer. But I understand that, based on the pandemic, we could not have lobby attendants sitting in our lobbies like sitting ducks during the pandemic, exposed to potentially COVID and other viruses, and so they were removed. But I understand that our crime rates did not go up. In fact, they went down. And we've also saved a great deal of money by not having them. So I personally miss our attendant, but I understand, the board's decision to not have them.
Thank you, Ms. Coleman. And next, Sheila Richburg.
Yes, thank you so much. I haven't read that the lobby attendants will not be returning, but I definitely do miss seeing the lobby attendants. I do miss seeing the lobby attendants. I understand why they were removed during COVID. I understand that we could not keep them in that place, being exposed. If I were elected to the board, I would definitely be open to listening and trying to find, listening to shareholders and trying to find some middle ground regarding our lobby attendance. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Alexin Ducre.
Thank you very much again. I think this is a very good question. My understanding is, like everybody else is, that that apparently the temporary cessation of lobby attendant services is was occasioned by the pandemic, something all of us has had to get used to, and I hope to see them back very soon as we've gotten back to its normalcy. Thank you.
Thank you. And next, Leah Richardson.
Yes, I also miss our lobby attendants, but because it made me feel a sense of security. However, now that the lobby attendants are no longer around, I strongly encourage community policing. The goal of community policing is to reduce crime and disorder by carefully examining the problems in the neighborhood and then applying appropriate problem-solving remedies. It is a proposal that was implemented years ago in our community, and it worked. We need to bring back this initiative. It is what the community wants and needs. If we see police presence regularly, then it will also ease our minds and we will feel a sense of that security in our community. Shareholders need to attend these town hall meetings that occurs throughout the years so they can voice their opinions. This allows the community to have the ability to speak, be heard, and have their perspectives considered. So yes, I do miss them, but I do understand why we don't have them. And I just encourage the community to come to the town halls and voice your opinions, and let's see what happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Akeisha Neely.
Hi, yes, so I do miss my lobby attendant. My lobby attendant was like family, and I think everyone in Building 10B will say that they miss that lobby attendant. But we also have to understand that, they were susceptible to COVID, so we just wanted to change that dynamic. With that being said, they also had a level of security. If we walked in the building, we saw a friendly face, we felt secure. But we would have that same type of security if we saw CCPD on the grounds more often. So I think that right now we should really look into making CCPD more visible. As stated before, they need to get out of the cars, they need to walk around, they need to start community policing and knowing who's in the area and knowing what the problems are. And again, it takes a village to keep the community safe. So, we still have to report and we still have to be vigilant on our own. Thank you.
Thank you. Miss Isabel Fletcher, please.
Yes, I know how we loved our lobby attendant. Great too. He knew everyone's name. He knew how to speak Spanish with some, and he learned other people's languages. It was nice. So I mean, but with the COVID, a lot of our lobby attendants got removed. Our community depends on relationship with them and attendant cooperators. People felt safe, needed to do something similar to the attendant program. Maybe survey the cooperators around them and see if there's something to substitute. That's all.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Regina Hamilton, please.
Yes, I actually think that we should bring back the lobby attendants. I feel that it's an invaluable resource to have. Certainly because I went to all 35 buildings, and some of the buildings have had these new doors that are very slow to close. And you're able to walk right in behind the person without any interference. We only have approximately 80 CCTV officers. It's no way they can patrol all 5 sections. So I think that if we can go to Dollar Tree and Stop and Shop and not be afraid of COVID, we definitely could have lobby attendants, but maybe have them on a split schedule where they only do 4 hours instead of 8 hours, and then they can transfer the posts. So this way they won't be sitting for a long period of time.
Okay, thank you very much. Kevin Lambright, please.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that question because that's one of the questions that's asked often when I'm walking through the streets or through the building and I see people. Well, let me just say this. I miss Al. lobby attendant. Just like you've been hearing people say, oh, they missed their lobby attendant. But the duties of the lobby attendant is just the eyes and ears for CCPD. Basically, they're not supposed to open the doors for us. Even if they know you, they're not supposed to open the doors because it infringes on another union called the Doorman's Union. So they're really not supposed to do that. Some of them do, I know, but they're not supposed to. Also, the only other thing that they started doing was they allowed them, they say, well, ask if a delivery person comes in, what, where you're going. The person doesn't even have to tell them where they're going. So it's just, it's a presumed sense of security. And it cost us $7.5 million a year. Now, I work directly with the CCPD. Chief, CCPD is $13 million a year. We have 85 CCPD officers and over three shifts for 7 days.
Gotta mute
Can we
you.
really afford to increase?
Okay, thank you. And next up, Darrell Johnson, please.
Okay, thank you. We all miss our lobby attendants. However, during the pandemic, there was no way that they could just stay in the lobby just like that. So, they're not going to be coming back to their posts. What I would love to see is that we stop spending money, say so much money on, say, fix up an apartment, $20,000 to fix up an average size apartment, and use that money to expand our public safety force, okay? What would be great is to have a public safety officer near each cluster of buildings, okay? Somebody commits a crime, and also bring in more cameras also, okay? With that, if somebody commits a crime here, they get caught almost immediately, okay? That's the way you do it, okay? You bring more cameras in. You see where that person, if they're running out of building, our public safety officers can grab them and lock them up right away. That is my perspective on how we should do our public safety over here.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry. 1 second. Next up, Anika Green Watson.
Thank you. So I understand residents' concerns about lobby attendants not returning, and that departure directly aligns with our commitment to increase CCPD visibility. It's no doubt that there are cost savings due to not having the lobby attendants return. However, it's my position that their presence, which we've all been accustomed to, be replaced with something of substance. And I think that's where the opportunity for CCPD to pick up some of the slack intersects with the community's needs to feel safe. Overall, crime was lower in New York City in 2020. So I hope we don't get ahead of ourselves with the causation versus correlation argument. It's a little harder to commit crimes during a pandemic. So I think there definitely is an opportunity for us to come up with a viable alternative. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Amina Lucio, please.
Yes. So again, I'll repeat exactly what everyone else, and I agree with everyone else stated that I miss my lobby attendant. The presence alone, it increased a feeling of security, quality of life, and it also helped to enforce the rules. I used to hear my lobby attendant asking delivery guys where they were going, and they responded. They told where they were going, and then there was some folks that just kind of kept on walking, and without even paying attention to the lobby attendant. So I was also concerned about the safety of some of our lobby attendants. I'm open to the idea and the review of bringing lobby attendants back. I think we can put some other things in place as well in the interim. In the interim, we may want to consider. Okay. Was that you, Denise? Okay.
Was it?
No.
Denise, you still had time, dear. Finish your sentence and
Oh, okay. So in the interim, while we're reviewing, whether or not to bring lobby attendants back, maybe we want to offer better lighting around Co-op City. Co-op City gets really dark at night. I like to do walks around the Greenway, have more police boxes or call boxes. Of course, more police patrol, on foot patrol works, vests and cameras
Okay,
as
thank
well.
you. Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. And next, Leslie Peterson. Ms. Peterson, are you there?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? First and foremost, I'm going to say I hope Boris is watching. And hi, Boris, love you to death. That was our lobby attendant, and he was fantastic. However, the situation is that sometimes when you take this position as a director, you have a fiduciary responsibility to try to keep carrying charges for shareholders as low as possible. And part of that sometimes is making unpopular decisions. And while we know that this was an unpopular decision, we also know that it did not have any effect on crime, even pre-pandemic, because there was usually nothing happening. When you look at the statistics during the time when they were there, it did not warrant. And what the lobbyists could do was push a red button in your building, which if something happens, you can do too. And what I do agree with is officer visible in every sector, because I see 6 or 7 of them come when something happens. I wonder where they are before then. Okay, so we have what, 5 sections?
Okay, thank you. Okay, that is our session for questions. I'm going to turn the microphone back over to our chairperson, Ms. Francine Weaver Jones.
Okay, I really enjoyed that exchange of questions and answers. Very good. So now we're moving into closing remarks, at which time everyone has 90 seconds to respond with their closing remarks, or less. If you don't have that much to say, that's fine. Okay, this time we'll go in reverse order. So let's start with Leslie Peterson.
Okay, I hope everybody can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just always have to check. In summary, I want to ensure you I understand the importance of issues that can affect the quality of life. Disruption of service, while sometimes day-to-day operations of service-related repairs, responsiveness to cooperators, and professionalism. I will not be satisfied with diminished services. During my time as a director, I have chaired the sales committee, co-chaired the cooperative appeals committee, I was co-chair of the audit committee, and often attended many of the meetings. Okay. In addition, I participate in several organizations and try to support many activities in the community. As co-founder of Rivers Run Community Garden, I revived the derelict area in our community, initiated Women Keeping It Real, and organized a Fun Day community activities with surrounding building presidents, all to unite our community. The board is run by a group of elected volunteers. We are all affected by board decisions, so the community should be involved in its governance in order to preserve the best interests of the community and prevent power from congregating in the hands of a small group and eventually going unchecked. I am a candidate that, in the words of Shirley Chisholm, I am unbought and unbossed. We are an awesome community, and together we can fix what is wrong without turning our back on what's right in our community. I want to see more of you participating in committees. As they say, be the change you seek. Please re-elect Leslie Peterson and Leah Richardson, and elect Akeisha Neely and Anika Green Watson. We are stronger together. And for more information, check out our website. All
out.
Okay, thank you very much. Next up is Amina Lucio.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone, for this evening, for the exchange of ideas. And thank you for tuning in, fellow cooperators, shareholders, neighbors, family, friends. Again, I believe in education and empowerment. I believe in advocacy, strong advocacy, and strong and self-determination. I love my neighborhood. I love my community. And although we've made great strides, there's still room to grow. We need to digitize all Riverbay operations. We need to provide better customer service. We also need to be more transparent and be more transparent with regard to the board decision making. We should broadcast all board meetings. And of course, we need to expand our summer youth program here in the Bronx to include Co-op City youths. Vote for Amina Lucio, re-elect Kevin Lambright, elect Monique Coleman, elect Isabel Fletcher, and elect Sheila Richburg. We are Team Progress, united for progress. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you very much. Anika Green Watson, you're next.
Thank you all for attending, and I hope I can speak on behalf of my fellow candidates when I say thank you to everyone who submitted a thoughtful question. The enormity of this moment is not lost on us, and I hope you have found my answers not only to be satisfactory, but refreshing. The principles of cooperative living revolve around democratic control. Each unit in this community will have an opportunity to select 5 candidates for board positions. This election cycle, we can take the lessons of the past year with us. Just because things have been done a certain way, it doesn't mean they have to stay that way forever. A little over a year ago, no one imagined that companies across the world would allow employees to work from home full-time, that children would receive their school lessons remotely, or that the US government would send direct payments to its citizens to ease economic burdens. The reasons no one imagined that is that we had been told it couldn't be done for so long. Dealing with a crisis unlike anything in modern memory required us collectively use our imaginations to forge a path forward. We know now that this is how we can channel the same energy, the same community focus to achieve benefits for the collective, and that we can start in our own neighborhood. That is why I encourage you to vote to elect me, Anika Green Watson, and Akeisha Neely, and vote to re-elect Leah Richardson and Leslie Peterson. All for one and one for all. We are stronger together. For more information, please visit our website, allforboard.com. That's all with 2 A's and 2 L's. And follow us on social media using the handle allforboard. Have a good evening, everyone, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Next, we have Daryl Johnson.
Okay, thank you. It's a pleasure being here with everyone this evening. I'm glad that everyone had an opportunity to share their thoughts about the community. As you know, my issues are with the annual increases. You're getting annual increases every single year, okay? How is this possible? How is it possible that we can spend $10 million on a waterfront park when you're getting annual increases? Plus, they're going to take on $100 million in new debt. How is this possible? You don't do things like this, okay? So you need board members to care about this community. You need board members that understand finances, okay? You need board members on this group that can talk to this community, can share their thoughts with this community, that can help this community. If you know all these years that you've known me, if you had a problem, you know you can come to me, you know it's going to be resolved. You know I'm going to work with management. You know I'm going to work with you. You know I'm going to work with your family to make sure that we get this community in the right way. Okay, so that's why I choose to run alone, and I choose to help this community in the proper way. That's what you want, a board of directors that's going to help you and that's going to help this community. Okay, spending all this money on contractors and employees working together, it's wrong. Okay, so what you need is to elect good board members that's going to help you and this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Daryl. Next, we have Kevin Lambright.
Hello, and thank you. This is Kevin Lambright. I think I can be heard. Well, you've heard a lot. You've heard a lot this evening, and I look at myself as not just a neighbor but a partner, because we're all in this corporation together. We're shareholders. That doesn't mean that we're renters, but we are collectively the landlord. So it's important that we maintain affordability. It's important that we learn to work together, even on the board, which is why I urge you to vote for Team Progress, because I have shown that I can work with any and everyone. I've shown that over the last 3 years, 3.5 years, actually. So I'm urging you to re-elect me, Kevin Lambright, elect Amina Lucio and Kevin Lambright, elect Isabel Fletcher and Kevin Lambright, elect Monique Coleman and Kevin Lambright, elect Sheila Richburg and Kevin Lambright. And remember, we're all God's children. So whether you're a believer or not, I'm a believer, and so is my team. So vote Team Progress. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we have Regina Hamilton.
Okay, good evening again. My name is Regina Hamilton. As you know, I'm an independent candidate, and if elected, I'll be enthusiastic, inquisitive, and straightforward. I do not participate in groupthink, lip service, confusion, or stagnation. So vote for me for a change that matters. Thank you for your time and your energy.
Thank you, Regina. Okay, next up is Isabel Fletcher.
Hi, thank you all for coming together as a community. I'm thankful to be on the panel today, and I want to just leave you with these words. I would like to leave you with these thoughts, that our board directors need innovative, caring individuals who can quickly pivot and help our cooperators be found after such a difficult time in our history, which includes keeping our community affordable. Thank you, election committee, for giving me the opportunity in moving Co-op City to the next level. Vote for Team Progress, Lambert, elect Monique Coleman, Amina Lucia, Sheila Richburg, and me, Isabel Fletcher. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Isabel Fletcher. Next up, we have Akeisha Neely.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank the election committee for hosting this event tonight. I would like to thank my fellow candidates, and I wish you all the best of luck. I would like to reach out to the cooperators. I am a product of Co-op City, from elementary school to high school. I volunteer, I'm in the streets. You see me, you know me, you have conversations with me. And I wanted to take those conversations and ideas to the board. I want to be that voice that you to represent you. I am so nervous because this is my first time, and I'm just being totally transparent. And transparency is a key to being on the board. So I'm being transparent with you right now, letting you know that I'm nervous. So just because I'm being transparent right now in this moment, just know that I'll be transparent when it comes to a bigger issue. So once again, vote for me, Akeisha Neely, vote for Anika Green Watson, and re-elect Leah Richardson and Leslie Peterson, because all for one for all, we are stronger together. And if you want more information on our team, follow us at allforboard.com. That's AALL, the number 4, board.com. And also follow us on social media with the same handles. Have a great night, and God bless everyone.
Okay, thank you, Akeisha. Next, we have Leah Richardson.
Yes, hi. Good evening, everyone. Once again, I would like to thank the shareholders for your patience and hard work of the election committee in bringing this virtual forum together. I am asking for your vote to re-elect me, an independent thinker, to the Riverbay Board of Directors. I am a community activist, experienced, transparent, and 110% committed. We can only maintain that high quality of life if we remain informed and engaged. I am a persistent leader who gets the job done. To that end, I am passionately committed to protecting our affordable housing and improving the quality of life here in Co-op City. As your board director, I have a legal duty to act in the best interest of the corporation. My fiduciary duties are duty of loyalty, duty of care, and duty to act within the scope of authority. Again, we all want a place to live where our family feels comfortable, where people feel like they are part of the community and where they have a voice. I ask you, my neighbors, to support me on the continuing journey to improve our quality of life in a financially responsible manner. Good luck to all the candidates. As we all know, it takes a village. We can do all things if we do it together, for we are stronger together. Please vote to re-elect me, Leah Richardson, Leslie Peterson, and elect Anika Green Watson and Akeisha Neely. Thank you, everyone, and have a blessed evening. Be safe and stay well.
Thank you, Leah. Next up is Alexian Dupre.
Thank you very much. I want to thank the election committee and my fellow candidates and my fellow shareholders, cooperators. I'm running for the board as an unlikely candidate, as an underdog, the guy with the funny name, Alexian Ducre. You will remember that, shareholders. The guy who spoke the least in these forums that we'll have. And but I'm not a talker, I'm a doer. I want to bring my training and experience to be on solving problems. I want my leader with a clear vision and a track record of results. And I want to roll up my sleeves and work together to make Co-op City better and brighter. I thank you very much. Vote for me, Alexian Ducre. I'm one of you. I'm just like you. Give me a chance. I'm ready to work for you. Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Next, we have Sheila Richburg.
Yeah.
Just a minute. Can you mute everyone and then okay. Sheila Richburg?
Yeah. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful forum. Thank you to the election committee and thank you to all the shareholders who took the time to attend. This Riverbay Board election is a very important election and your vote should not be taken lightly. We need strong directors who care about this community to be a part of the Riverbay Board. I humbly ask that you vote for me, Sheila Richburg, as your next Riverbay Board Director, and along with Team Progress. Please re-elect Kevin Lambright and elect Monique Coleman, Isabel Fletcher, Amina Lucio, and myself, Sheila Richburg. I'm eager to listen to the shareholders' concerns and to represent this wonderful Co-op City community, quality of life issues, and with integrity and in a professional manner. My lifelong history speaks for itself. I'm committed to service. I'm committed to improving our community, and I just want things to be better. Today, we address many issues of concerns like our convectors, our CCPD presence, maintenance, and restoration issues. As a board director, I vow to advocate to continue talking about and advocating for these concerns. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you, Sheila Richburg. Okay, last but not least is Monique Coleman.
Thank you. So thank you to all of the shareholders for the opportunity to ask for your vote. Thank you for the election committee. Thank you to the other candidates for having an engaging discussion. We all just want a better life, you know, but we can't leave it up to anybody else to make that happen for us. We've all got to be in this together. I'm participating in this process because I really believe I have something to contribute. As a reminder, my professional background is in insurance, and I want to pursue initiatives that promote health. So that includes financial fitness, and I want to take a rigorous look at our budget. I want to look at our cable contract. I want to look at our insurance contracts. You know, I'll even look at that waterfront park. I really believe in that park. I think that will contribute to our quality of life. I'm part of Team Progress, and I'm asking for your vote to re-elect Kevin Lambright, vote for Isabel Fletcher, Amina Lucio, Sheila Richburg, and myself, Monique Coleman. Together, we're Team Progress, and we're unified in our mission to make Co-op City a better place. Thank you, and good night.
Thank you, everyone. What an amazing time we had. Thank you so much for the shareholders who are looking in. Thank you for attending. And our next session, our next forum is Saturday, May 1st at 7:30 p.m. So
No,
be
no,
ready.
no, not Saturday. No, it's not Sat. It's not Saturday, May 1st. It's Wednesday.
Well, we have Saturday. I hope you have your schedule before you. But anyhow, we'll have notice in the Co-op City Times and on flyers and everywhere. So be on the lookout to see us next time. The third one is on a Wednesday, May 5th. But the next one is Saturday, May 1st at 7:30 p.m. And with that, I thank you again, and I'll say good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night, and thank you.
Thank you all.
Good night, Team Progress.
Good night.
Good night, Team
Good night.
Progress.
Good night.